Welcome back to Daily Mojo podcast. Today we're jumping into a film that, well, for a lot of us in the WLW community, it's kind of more than just a movie.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like, I don't know, almost required viewing sometimes.
Exactly, like an entry-level requirement almost for figuring out film. We're talking, of course, about the brilliant, the iconic Imagine Me and You.
Yes, from 2005. And it's iconic for a reason, right? For so many people, this wasn't just a film, it was the film. You know, back then, the landscape for stories, especially for women, was, well, it was pretty bleak sometimes. Lots of tragedy, lots of unresolved stuff.
Totally. Lots of dying women, unfortunately.
Right. And then Imagine Me and You comes along and just dares to be a happy, straightforward, romantic comedy.
A proper rom-com.
Yeah. Where the women actually get the happy ending. It treated love like a joy, not a problem, which was kind of revolutionary for the time, especially in a mainstream film.
And that's really our mission today, isn't it? To kind of dig deep into why this film hit so hard, why it still feels so special.
For sure. We're not just gonna, run through the plot points. We want to explore the story, the characters, Luce and Rachel, obviously, and the impact it's had from our perspective as well as huge WLW movie fans.
How it made such a difference and why we keep coming back to it. So get comfy, this should be fun. Okay, so let's start where the film starts. Rachel's wedding day. It sets up this very traditional rom-com feel straight away, doesn't it?
It really does. You meet Rachel, Piper Perabo, just so charming.
She's great.
And she's marrying Heck, her long-term boyfriend, played by Matthew Good, who we'll get into later, but he's fantastic too.
Mm-hmm.
And everything feels very normal rom-com. Her dress is described as a meringue.
Yeah, by her dad.
Right? And she has that quirky moment stopping to pee before the church. It just establishes her personality and the light tone. You know what you're in for, or you think you do.
Exactly. You think you know the beats, but then woven into all this traditional stuff, you get Luce.
Lena
Headey, the florist. And she's just there, arranging flowers. There's this quiet intensity about her. And then, the moment.
The absolute catalyst for everything. The glance.
Rachel's walking down the aisle, all eyes should be on Heck, but hers, they find Luce. And it's electric.
It's just immediate, like undeniable. The film just shows you this connection.
It's pure chemistry, that unstoppable force idea they talk about later. So it's right there, no words needed.
Totally, it's love at first sight, captured perfectly, and it completely undercuts the whole wedding vibe in that instant.
It's such a powerful way to introduce it, and it's a rom-com trope, love at first sight. But here it feels different, more charged because of the context.
Yeah, definitely. And then because fate or the scriptwriter won't let them be, they have another moment at the reception, right? Luce is somehow still there, which, okay, maybe a little contrived, but it works.
It totally works for the genre, and we get that scene with the ring and the punch bowl.
Ah, the punch bowl scene. It's so subtly sapphic.
It really is. Rachel's ringing falls and classic rom-com mishap.
And Luce fishes it out, and then she slides it back onto Rachel's finger.
And the air just crackles. Like nobody else seems to notice, but for them and for us watching,
it's loaded. So much unspoken stuff in that simple action.
And this is also where we properly meet Coupe, right? Heck's best mate.
Coupe, yeah, played by Darren Boyd, and he immediately flags himself as the creepy BFF.
Totally. He's instantly hitting on Luce, making those slightly inappropriate comments.
Yeah, he just lays it on thick. He's set up as this like comedic foil, but honestly, looking back,
he doesn't age well. We'll get into that more later, I'm sure.
For sure. But yeah, his immediate sort of entitlement towards Luce just contrasts so sharply with the genuine spark happening between her and Rachel. He's completely oblivious.
So oblivious, yeah.
Which kind of leads into the next phase, doesn't it? Rachel clearly can't shake loose.
Nope. Even if she doesn't quite know why yet, or maybe she does deep down.
Right. So she does that classic thing of trying to manage the feeling or maybe push it away. She invites Luce and Coupe over for dinner.
The setup.
The classic setup. Thinking she'll pair Luce off with Coupe. It's so obviously doomed, but you see her trying to normalize the situation in her head.
It's that rom-com logic again, isn't it? Trying to divert your own feelings by matchmaking. But the film keeps layering in these little signs.
Like the flowers.
Exactly. Luce springs lilies, and we find out that Rachel's favorite. It's this small, almost accidental detail, but it feels so significant. Like Luce just knows her somehow.
It adds to that feeling of fate, doesn't it? And Rachel is just visibly nervous all evening. You can feel her anxiety.
Oh yeah, Piper Perabo plays that discomfort so well. The internal struggle is right there on her face.
And then the dinner party itself.
That's where things get really interesting.
Because Luce just drops it, doesn't she? Casually tells Heck, I'm gay.
Yep, just like that. And Heck's reaction is priceless, completely blindsided,
Bye-bye matchmaking plan.
instantly vaporized.
It's such a great, understated, comedic moment, but it shifts everything.
And it's interesting how the film gives clues before that, right? Things that maybe a targeted audience picks up on, but the straight characters miss.
Totally, like the mention of the secret tramp stamp, which was definitely a thing in the 2000s.
Oh yeah, that lower back tattoo was definitely a signifier for a while there. Like the film is winking at the audience, you know? Like you guys see it even if Heck doesn't yet. It kind of builds this rapport with the viewer.
It really does, and that dinner party keeps delivering because then they get into that whole discussion about love.
Oh, the philosophy of love debate? Yeah, this is crucial.
So you have Heck and Rachel talking about their view, right? Love grows. It's comfortable, familiar.
Warming, comfortable, yeah. Built on friendship, a better kind of fairy tale, as they put it. Very practical.
Very grounded. And then Luce comes in with a counterpoint.
And it's so powerful. She says, true love is instant. You recognize it immediately.
Suddenly realized you had been incomplete and now you are whole.
Exactly, which is basically describing what happened when she and Rachel first saw each other. It gives that initial glance this whole framework.
And Rachel's reaction is so telling. She agrees with Heck first, like out of habit.
Right, loyalty.
But then almost immediately you see her shift and kind of align with Luce's idea.
You can literally see her internal conflict playing out. Her heart is saying one thing, her head another.
It's such a smart way to show her realization dawning without her having to spell it out yet. The film is great at those visual cues, those subtle shifts.
Definitely, and the intensity just keeps building from there. You get that rooftop scene in the rain.
The rain scene.
Classic romance.
Classic, but effective. The rain always feels symbolic, doesn't it? Like washing away pretense or just overwhelming emotion. Even though nothing explicitly romantic happens yet, but the connection deepens.
But while they're having this deep emotional moment,
And then Coupe again.
right on cue, giving Luce a ride home.
And just being relentlessly sleazy, he will not take a hint.
He frames her being as, what was it, a minor inconvenience?
Yeah, like it's just a hurdle for him to overcome. It's so gross.
And then he gives her that terrible relationship advice, bragging about sleeping with women who are with someone else.
And saying the partner is their problem, not mine.
It's just awful.
It's awful, and it contrasts so sharply with Luce, who we know has this principle about not messing with couples because she doesn't want to cause pain.
Exactly, it sets up this clear moral difference. Coupe is just looking out for himself with a zero empathy. It really makes him stand out as problematic, even beyond just being annoying.
He's definitely the character you love to hate, or maybe just hate. And poor Rachel is still trying to make the Coupe Luce thing happen somehow, which leads to that funny misunderstanding with Edie, right?
Oh yeah, Rachel sees Luce with her friend Edie and jumps to conclusions, thinks Edie is Luce's girlfriend.
And Edie's just like, no, I'm ecstatic, meaning happily married, not,
It's a cute, awkward moment, but it probably just pours fuel on Rachel's fire, realizing Luce is actually available.
The universe is practically screaming at her at this point. Pretty much this push and pull, back and forth. It's classic rom-com tension building.
Which brings us to probably the most iconic scene, or one of them anyway.
The football match, the soccer game.
Yes, you're a wanker, number 9.
Oh, it's just perfect. Rachel is so endearingly awkward trying to shout insults.
It's just too polite.
Exactly. And Luce teaches her how to really project, how to yell from the diaphragm.
And the way she teaches her.
Placing her hands on Rachel's stomach.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a clever excuse for physical closeness. It feels slightly contrived, maybe.
Yeah, but in the best way.
Totally. It's that feeling you get with a high school crush, like finding any reason to touch, it just crackles with energy.
And it's about more than shouting, isn't it? It's like Luce is teaching Rachel to find her voice, literally, and maybe metaphorically too.
That's a great point. And then they go from the game to the arcade.
Dancing on the machine, just pure fun and shared joy, letting loose.
The ease between them is just growing and growing. And then walking home, the near kiss.
Oh, the tension, it's almost unbearable. Well, you think it's finally going to happen.
But Rachel pulls back. She freaks out.
Understandably.
Yeah. The reality of her situation, being married, hits her. The implications are massive. It's that moment of panic.
But you know it can't end there. The feeling is too strong.
Nope. She tries, though. She tells Luce she can't see her anymore. Tries to put up that wall.
Her logical brain kicking in, trying to protect herself, protect Heck.
But it lasts about 5 seconds. The emotion just washes over her. She can't fight it.
And that leads to the kiss. In the flower shop, on the roses.
Finally, the big, passionate release of all that pent-up tension and feeling. It's a beautiful scene.
And also, slightly hilariously, you gotta wonder about the cost of all those ruined roses for Luce's business.
Yeah, the practical side does intrude a little, a nice touch of realism amidst the romance. But the timing, the timing.
Of course. Just as they've had this huge moment, Heck shows up.
To buy lilies for Rachel because Heck senses something's wrong. Oh, Heck.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it? His intuition's there, but he doesn't know the half of it. And Rachel just bolts, runs off to avoid him seeing her there. The panic, the guilt, yeah, it's all crashing down. You really feel for all 3 of them in that moment in different ways. Absolutely. And the film handles Heck's side of things so well from here on out. His confusion, his hurt.
He's trying so hard to fix things, isn't he? To reconnect with Rachel. Totally. Their intimacy is just gone, and he knows it, but he doesn't know why.
He's talking to her dad, trying to understand, visiting Luce's shop. He's just lost.
And what's key is that he's never portrayed as angry or accusatory, just sad and confused. He's trying to figure out what he did wrong.
It makes him so sympathetic. He's absolutely not the villain. The film refuses to make him one.
Which is brilliant.
It really is. It makes the inevitable confrontation so much more painful, but also more mature.
Which is Rachel finally confessing.
Yeah. She just has to tell Heck she went crazy for someone and it wasn't you. Just lays it out there.
So raw.
But even then, she tries to stay right out of loyalty, guilt.
Saying he's her best friend, that their bond was enough before, it'll be enough again.
Oh, that line is brutal. Because you know it won't be. Not now.
It really poses that question, doesn't it? Can you build a life purely on friendship and history when that thunderbolt of passion for someone else strikes?
And while they're dealing with this incredibly delicate, heartbreaking situation,
here comes Coupe again, full steam ahead.
oh, Coupe. He hears about it from Heck, and he goes straight for Luce.
And he is vicious, accusing her, calling her names, dumb, I think, just awful.
Absolutely horrible. And the hypocrisy is just staggering.
Right. This is the guy who was bragging about cheating with taken women and saying it wasn't his problem.
The lack of self-awareness is incredible, and the film just lets his awfulness stand there. Doesn't try to excuse.
No, it highlights the difference. Luce actually tried to create distance. Rachel pursued her. Coupe's anger is completely misplaced and just nasty, chauvinistic. He's the real villain of the piece in many ways.
But then contrasting with Coupe's ugliness, you get Heck's reaction. Oh, Heck's acceptance speech. It's just, wow. It's heartbreaking, but so incredibly graceful.
He figures it out. He understands she loves someone else. And he references that earlier conversation, X question.
About the unstoppable force in the immovable object.
Yeah, and he tells Rachel she's the unstoppable force, so he has to be the one to move.
Oh, my heart just breaks for him. But you admire him so much in that moment.
It's profound selflessness. He wants her to be happy, even though it destroys him. It completely solidifies him as one of the best jilted partners ever written in a rom-com.
Totally. No bitterness, just profound sadness and acceptance. It's incredibly moving.
And just when Rachel is facing this huge life change, feeling maybe lost, her parents step up.
Yeah, the parental support is amazing and maybe a little unexpected, especially from her mom.
Her mom, who seemed a bit critical earlier, she just shows total acceptance.
And her dad's monologue, oh my goodness.
It's beautiful, sharing his own feelings of inadequacy sometimes in his marriage and just telling her, follow your heart.
It's so touching. It gives her the permission she needs. Maybe.
I think so. And the fact that the whole family rallies around her, decides to drive her to stop Luce, it's such a powerful message of support.
Yeah, no rejection, no drama about her being with a woman. Just go get her. It's wonderful.
It really subverts that common trope of family rejection in such stories. It's pure validation.
Okay, so the climax, the big finish. This is where it all comes together.
Luce is heartbroken. Rachel chose Heck initially. So Luce is doing what people do in movies when heartbroken.
Running away, picking a very long holiday.
Yep, escaping the pain, the messiness.
But Rachel has that thunderbolt moment of clarity. She knows she loves Luce. She has to go after her.
The classic rom-com chase.
You gotta have the chase. The frantic drive to the airport.
Trying to call her on the flip phone. Remember flip phones?
Yes. And then hearing that song in the background, realizing Ella's E is stuck in the same traffic jam.
It's so perfectly cinematic. That little bit of fate bringing them close again.
And then Rachel just goes for it, jumps on the car bonnet.
With her parents cheering her on.
And yells a line, "You're a wanker, number 9."
It's such a unique, perfect callback. Only Luce would understand that signal. It's their thing.
It's brilliant. So much more personal than just shouting her name. And he hears it, and she just drops everything.
Leaves her luggage, her escape plan,
and runs through the traffic towards Rachel.
and they have that huge public passionate reunion kiss.
The big payoff. And for us as an audience seeing that, it was massive.
It really was. After so many sad endings, to just get a straightforward, joyful public declaration of love and reunion,
It felt revolutionary. It allowed us to just
be happy to see ourselves get the fairy tale ending without some awful twist.
It provided this desperately needed positive image, hope, validation, relief even. Like, yes, our stories can end like this too.
It really was groundbreaking just in its normalcy and its commitment to the happy ending.
And the film drives it home with those little snippets at the end, right? Showing them together happy.
Yeah, just living their lives. That shot of them having coffee on a bench, it's so simple, but so lovely. Domestic bliss.
It cements that feeling of comfort, of warmth, why it became such a go-to comfort watch for so many people, especially maybe younger people figuring things out.
It showed a future was possible, a happy one, without caveats.
Exactly. It wasn't just a film, it was a promise almost that happy endings were achievable for us too. Okay, so let's get into the review side of things.
Yeah, because as much as we adore it, it's worth looking at the strengths and maybe some of the weaknesses too.
For sure. First off, the performances and chemistry. We've touched on it, but Piper Perabo and Lena Headey,
Incredible together.
the chemistry is just effortless, believable, magnetic. You completely buy the love at first sight because they sell it so well.
Absolutely. Every look, every smile, it feels real.
And Matthew Good as Heck, we have to praise him again. So sympathetic, so nuanced. His heartbreak feels universal.
Yeah, it's not about homophobia, it's about loss, which is crucial. He makes the character work so well.
And the supporting cast is strong too. Little H, the flower girl, asking those deep questions.
She's great. Adds such a charming, quirky element that actually ties into the themes.
Definitely. And then there's the film's position as this perfect rom-com.
Yeah, the fact that it feels like a standard rom-com, but just happens to feature two women, that's its superpower. It really is. It allowed audiences to see themselves in those familiar, feel-good tropes without it being this heavy issue movie. It just normalized the experience.
And it had that bigger Hollywood feel, didn't it? Not like a tiny indie film.
Right, which meant it reached more people. It showed mainstream audiences that, hey, a women-loving women story can be just as charming and relatable and commercially viable as any straight one.
Broke down some barriers there for sure. But okay, let's talk critiques because it's not flawless.
No, and one thing people often mention is the pacing, right? The timeline.
Yeah, it's really ambiguous how much time actually passes. Is this whole whirlwind happening over days, weeks, months?
It's unclear. And that does kind of affect how you read Rachel's journey, doesn't it? How quickly she falls for Luce and decides to leave her husband.
If it's super fast, it might feel a bit sudden, less believable for some. If it's longer, it gives more weight to her struggle, maybe.
Exactly. Knowing the time frame would add context, especially to Heck noticing things are off. It's a bit of a structural looseness.
A minor quibble for me personally because the emotional beats land. But yeah, the timeline is fuzzy.
And speaking of things that are baffling, the USR rating.
Oh my God, don't get me started. It makes absolutely 0 sense.
None. What was even R-rated about it? There's no nudity?
Barely any swearing. Mostly just Coupe losing it that one time.
No graphic scenes. The kisses are sweet, romantic, but super tame.
It's less explicit than countless PG-13 movies from the same time. It's honestly absurd.
It really feels like the rating was based purely on the fact it was a female romance. Doesn't it? Like that alone was deemed somehow more adult?
It smacks of bias, like a happy, uncomplicated love story was somehow more dangerous for audiences than, I don't know what. It's infuriating.
It really is a very strange decision by the MPAA back then. And the other valid criticism, which was common for the era, the lack of diversity.
Yeah, it's a very white, very middle class, very cisgender world, which, reflects a lot of mainstream film at the time, but it's important to acknowledge while it was groundbreaking for WLW rep in one way, it wasn't pushing boundaries in terms of intersectionality.
Definitely. It highlights how far we still had to go and still have to go for truly inclusive stories. It was a step, a hugely important one, but not the final destination, for sure.
But even with those critiques, the fuzzy timeline, Coupe being awful, the weird rating, the lack of diversity, it's still a fantastic rom-com.
Oh, absolutely. It's a top-tier comfort watch. It just makes you feel good.
It's heartwarming. The writing is sharp for the most part. The acting is superb. It just works. It delivers on the rom-com promise beautifully.
It's a must-see. If you love women rom-coms or just believe in love at first sight, you have to watch it.
It holds up because the core emotion is so strong and so well portrayed. It's that film you put on when you just need warmth and happiness.
Imagine Me and You really stands.
A landmark film for WLW cinema because it dared to give us simple, uncomplicated joy.
It's that warm, happy place we can return to. Proof that our stories deserve happy endings, too.
And maybe that leads to a final thought for you listening at home. In a world where we're always pushing for more, for different kinds of representation, what does it say that a film that's essentially a well-made standard rom-com, but with women at the center, had such a massive impact?
Yeah, like what does that tell us about the power of just seeing ourselves in those familiar, beloved story structures? And what kinds of stories do we need next? Do we need more complex narratives? Or is there still a huge need for that simple, classic romantic joy just between women?
Something to think about. What can we learn from the enduring power of this film's simplicity and heart? Maybe take a moment to think about your own entry-level films, the ones that first made you feel seen or gave you that jolt of happy recognition.
Definitely. Well, this was fun. Always good to revisit Luce and Rachel.
Always. Thanks for joining us for this Daily Mojo podcast. Subscribe to the channel for future videos, and hey, share in the comments which movies you want us to discuss and review in the future episodes. We'll catch you next time.